Shalom, shalom, Jerusalem. Peace be to you.
Hi, thank you for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary. Today I want to talk to you for a little bit about the fact that Yahweh has a human form, and the human form of Yahweh is the Messiah. Now, if you doubt whether Yahweh has a human form or not, you need to go to SnyderTalk.com, look at the pages on the right, and you'll see that there's a page there titled Yahweh has a human form. In that page, I have listed all of the occurrences of Yahweh appearing in human form in the Old Testament. But it's important to keep this in mind. The physical manifestation of Yahweh, the only human form of Yahweh, is the Messiah. While I was writing the book, His Name is Yahweh, one of my Jewish students' mother learned about it and volunteered to read each chapter as I was writing the book. I was happy to let her do it. And I'll never forget telling her that I was about to start a chapter titled Yahweh Has a Human Form. I thought she might enjoy reading that one. She said, "No, I don't believe that." She had been raised up as a Reformed Jew. She had been to Hebrew school. She was knowledgeable about the Tanakh. She had studied the Talmud. She knew what the ancient rabbis had to say. And everything she had learned had convinced her that that simply couldn't be true. Well, the typical turnaround time for this woman was about 5 days. I would send her a chapter, and then she would read it and get back to me within about 5 days. But when I finished writing the chapter, Yahweh Has a Human Form, as I was getting ready to go to bed that night, I emailed her the chapter. The next morning when I got up, I had an email response from her, which was her reaction to the chapter. And basically what she said was that she opened the email as she was getting ready to go to bed, thinking that she would just glance at the chapter, but she ended up staying up all night reading the chapter and checking out what I said against what she knew, against her Tanakh and what she knew about the ancient rabbis and what they had to say. And she concluded her email to me by saying, "It's undeniable. Yahweh has a human form." Well, he really does. And again, the human form of Yahweh is the Messiah. That reminds me of another story. Katie and I were in Israel. We had been there for about 2 months, and on this particular day we were in, it was a Friday, by the way, and it was in the afternoon. So shops in the old city of Jerusalem are closing down or getting ready to shut their doors for Shabbat. And Katie and I went into this jewelry store. It was run by a silversmith and his daughter, who was also a silversmith. And they didn't have any other customers to deal with, and so they just talked to Katie and me for a period of, might have been an hour. And the young girl, I say young, she was probably 30, she was telling me what it was like to grow up in the old city. And I was intrigued by that. I wanted to hear what she had to say. And I was just listening to every word she said. And then she said something that I couldn't let pass. She said, "We all believe in the same Messiah." And I said, "Who do you mean when you say all?" She said, "Well, I'm talking about Christians, Jews, and Muslims." And I said, "No, that's not true." I said, "The Messiah that the Christians and Jews believe in is actually Yahweh. He's not the same Messiah the Muslims believe in." She looked at me and she said, "First of all, we don't say that name. And secondly, that is not the Messiah's name." And I said, "Oh, really? Do you have a Tanakh?" She did, right there in the shop. She got it. I said, "Okay, open it to Yirmiyahu 23, 5, and 6. That's Jeremiah 23, 5, and 6. She did, and she read it. It was the strangest thing. She looked at me after reading it, and it's 2 short verses. She looked at me and with a very peculiar look on her face, she said, "You know, the Messiah's name really is Yahweh." She went from not saying the name Yahweh to telling me the Messiah's name is Yahweh in a matter of minutes. It's in the Tanakh. It's all over the Bible. Let's keep these things in mind as we're going into the Christmas season. There's a lot I could tell you about Christmas. I won't. Now's not the time to do that. Others are doing it. You ought to pay attention to what some of them are saying. I'll simply tell you this. The person we celebrate at Christmas is actually Yahweh, who is the Messiah, the physical form of Yahweh. There's no question about it. That's what the Bible says. These bits of understanding are terribly important. I hope you're getting this information. I hope you're accepting it. If you have any doubt in your mind about it, please check it out against the Scriptures. You can download His Name is Yahweh for free from the website hisnameisYahweh.org or from SnyderTalk.com. You can go to SnyderTalk.com, look at the pages on the right. There are many pages there that deal exclusively with the Messiah and things He said that prove He is Yahweh. Let's keep that in mind as we go into this Christmas season. Thank you again for joining me for another Snyder Talk video commentary, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.